Today's adventure begins as a recording of this Sunday, October 9th, 2022. Across the street is that grocery store that used to be a bank. It's a trust company, but now it's a grocery store. But that is not what I want to focus on. I want to focus on this weighted double L right here that the wind is blowing around. Look at this. It's kind of neat.
Triple L, actually.
Triple L. There's an L here, there's an L here, and there's an L here. And it's very gusty, very windy, so this thing is turning. Look at it, it's shifting. Welcome everyone. Adam the Woo here. It's Floor and Ryan. Also in the house, outside of the hotel. I think today is going to be the most pleasant of our 3 days. This is our third day here?
Ish. We had a, well, you know what? We
Third day.
Yeah, third day. Yeah.
Third day, third full day here.
Full day.
Today we're going to go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We're going to go to a couple cemeteries. And we're just going to wander around downtown. We did not rent a car, so we might have to take an Uber. I don't know what we're going to do. You have any ideas?
We're going to see some koi.
Oh! There's one there. How many's in there? There's two there.
There are 3 urban koi.
Okay, I like the koi that are in the water here. Are those petunias? I haven't done that. I haven't done that bit. Explain the ding thing.
That is the inside joke bell from when I was on radio. It's a Cleveland thing. When somebody mentions their catchphrase or an inside joke, we'd hit the ding real quick.
All right.
Yeah.
What would your catchphrase be on your channel?
Either do just a little sploring.
Ding.
Or
That's
probably
it.
just a little sploring. Oh, hello ladies and gentlemen, it is I, your Uncle Splorin.
There
Ryan.
it is.
There we go.
I'm inviting you to join me
And your Uncle Splorin Ryan.
Shall you? Now at this intersection is the St. John the Baptist Cathedral. Quite an impressive and beautiful looking sculpture. Well, not a sculpture, a building. And this is a beacon of goodness right here. A little donkey, a little D&D. I don't think coffee has ever been referred to as the board game, but yeah, we need a piping hot caffeinated beverage. We both went with hot coffees. I went with the large. You went with the medium. And take a look up here at this owl who is focusing in intently on this skeleton little doorway here on the exit to Dunkin's. Okay, my head is a little cold, so for $20 I picked up one of these little caps here. It says Cleveland on it. I think it's a Browns cap, but my head's just cold, so thanks, man. It doesn't say Browns on it, it says Cleveland, so I picked myself up a little souvenir. Because it's brisk out here.
Orange and brown, yeah, it is.
Now, just to clarify, I am not I don't really go to football games. I'm not going to a football game, but there's a lot of people behind me that are right now. What is this called?
Toque. It's a toque. It's a Second City Strange Brew reference.
I was like...
With Rick Moranis, what was the other guy's name?
Dave Thomas, I want to say.
And not to be confused with the guy that created Wendy's.
Yeah. I don't know.
There you go. All right, you guys ready? Nice.
Are you in the pound today?
Yes. Nice.
Right, there you go.
Have fun. And once again, not going in there, just passing by it, but take a look at the little train station there. That's pretty cool. And it almost looks like a little dome over there as well in the distance.
It's a science center.
Now, I have been inside this building before. It's probably been, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 years ago, give or take. And there is I'm going to go back in as well. Not going to be a full tour, but I definitely want to stop in. I always like seeing the CBGB's awning. Because I'm a big, punk rock CB's fan, and some other stuff, see if anything's changes. But this says birthplace of rock and roll, Cleveland, Ohio, when radio station WJW disc jockey Alan Freed, who passed away in '65, used the term rock and roll to describe the up-tempo black rhythm and blues record he played at the beginning of 1951. He named it genre of popular music to appeal to audiences of both sides in the 1950s. The birthplace of rock and roll. Marker. And this is kind of a when in Rome moment because, as stated, I did pop in here before, but I got to thinking, when is the next time I'll probably ever be back in Cleveland? So I figured I might as well stop in. Honestly, when will the next time I'll be back in Cleveland? We did the wild card series. My team lost.
0-1.
I can't think of anything.
Yeah, they're not quite open yet. Still a few more minutes before the doors open. But take a look at this. This is from the House of Cash in Hendersonville, Tennessee. This is Johnny Cash's tour bus right here. This is awesome. It's a motor coach Cruiser MC9. And Johnny Cash himself was in there touring. It says J Cash 1 on the front. Also says closed on the front over there. Love Johnny Cash. This is right here, off in the distance, downtown Cleveland skyline. And that is kind of peeking in the front window there, kind of looking at the seats, the little pull-out beds, all those kind of things. And a staple here in Cleveland are these insects, which Sploor and Ryan told me they have no mouths and they only survive about 2 days. And these are everywhere and anywhere around the greater Cleveland area. All over. Now I'm seeing an assortment of ducks over there swimming in the lake, but also this rather large ship called the Cleveland Cliffs. And I believe there's also a submarine somewhere in this general neighborhood also. See if I can find it. As I'm walking over to find the submarine, so you got a generator here, a lot of people doing a little tailgating before the game, just passing through, but look at number 46. This is called the Lambulance, you know, because Cleveland, we got the city skyline there, and then it says the Landbulance. And here's another bus right here, all painted brown and everything. Everyone's just partying down. And now walking past the submarine. Always kind of neat to see a submarine right here on the shoreline. It looks like somebody's over there doing a little work on it. Passing by the sub, and now it appears as if the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame should be open. And gonna pop in real quick and just see what we can see. Long live rock. And I have procured a little bench over here, a little picnic table, along with, I'll show this after I kind of describe what I saw inside the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. A little merch pickup that I purchased inside there. But when you first walk in, you go inside and you go down an escalator, and one of the main things I wanted to see was the CBGB awning back from, it was placed here back in 1987. The awning hung above the CBGBs and served as the club's signage from the late 80s until it closed in 2006. The original one ended up being stolen, so the original one no longer exists anymore. But I just want to show some of the other stuff that I really kind of enjoy, like Hank Williams' suit, which was designed by Nudie Taylor Rodeos in North Hollywood, I believe it is. So you got Hank Williams' suit and some other Hank Williams paraphernalia that is scattered through the hall. And a lot of Elvis stuff. So Elvis Presley's custom motorcycle sits here. 1975 Super Trike, which is made by Super Trikes of Memphis, Tennessee. And of course, I love Elvis quite a bit, including one of Elvis's guitar. In the 60s, Gibson Guitars offered a double neck guitar in any configuration, and Elvis ended up playing one and was used during Spin Out. So this was actually screen used during Spin Out, and Elvis Presley's suit as well, which was designed by Bill Ballou, which was used, I believe, in the Comeback Special or one of the specials. Yeah, the 1968 Comeback Special, according to the signage that's there. Now, as far as drum kits go, this was used in a lot of different things. This was used by drummer W.S. Holland, who played with Johnny Cash, and this exact drum kit was used in Johnny Cash's Ring of Fire. So, you know, I love Johnny Cash, and it's hard to imagine that the recording of this drum kit was actually used for that. And you know, Roy Orbison is another one. I'm just kind of giving a brief amount of items that I kind of really thought were kind of caught my eye. Some Roy Orbison stuff here, including jacket and sunglasses, Johnny Cash's suit, a couple of different Johnny Cash items as well, used for Cry 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 by Johnny Cash. The suit he wore in 1955. Some Janis Joplin stuff. I love Janis Joplin. Some stuff she wore, her eyeglasses, necklaces, a chord chart, things like that. And then you kind of go into some punk rock stuff, quite a bit of punk rock history, not only CBGBs, but just like the New York Doll stuff and things like that, including a guitar that was played by the Ramones, Dee Dee Ramone's bass guitar, and also a t-shirt that Sid Vicious wore from the Sex Pistols. So that's pretty awesome. You know, I just definitely love punk rock stuff. Iggy Pop, his jacket from 1988, also in here. So you got that. And then Sid Vicious of the Sex Pistols chord chart for My Way, which was released in 1978. So you got Sid Vicious, the chord chart. So this was handwritten by the Sex Pistols here. Angus Young from AC/DC, his you know, his uniform that he would wear, looking like a school kid, and all that kind of gives a little info on the AC/DC outfit. And of course the grunge scene, got some Alice in Chains stuff, some Nirvana stuff, things like that. And then continuing on, you got a pinball machine that was used by the Rolling Stones. Keith Richards kept and played this exact machine, and it's dated 1980, but this was in his home and all that. And of course the Beatles. I love the Beatles. Beatles, one of my all-time favorite bands. A lot of John Lennon stuff, including John Lennon's passport, Paul McCartney's suit, a John Lennon jacket, all that type of stuff. And handwritten, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, handwritten by John Lennon and Paul McCartney on this sheet of paper, which is amazing to even really think about. Alice Cooper, there's some Alice Cooper stuff as well. Gotta love Alice Cooper. Now, I've always been a big fan of Green Day. Obviously, I have the Kerplunk girl on my arm tattooed, but you know, I always remember the 1994 Woodstock, what they call Mudstock, Mike Dirnt's bass that he played, and he ended up getting, I think he got his nose broken or his face busted in at that show. This is the bass he was playing. And then Billy Joe, he was, you know, his shirt that he was wearing that was completely covered in mud. That is here behind the case too. There's some Hendrix stuff, some of his guitars, etc. that's kind of scattered through here. And then Tom Petty, the Tom Petty outfit that he wore for the 1995 issue of Rolling Stone is also here. An outfit for the MTV Music Awards. And when you talk about the white stripes, of course, Jack White and Meg White. Meg White's shirt that she wore for Icky Thump on the cover of that, the 2007 album, is in here as well. And when you go up the escalator, you kind of go up to a Pink Floyd The Wall exhibit at the very top, which is kind of interesting. And from there, you go into an area where they have even more very detailed stuff, like Michael Jackson's jacket from Thriller. You think of Michael Jackson, you think of Thriller, and you think a lot of other things, but Thriller is so iconic. And this is the actual jacket that he wore in that music video. And then moving on to more Nirvana stuff, Kurt Cobain. I actually saw Kurt Cobain and Nirvana on the In Utero tour, and the one on the guitar on the left is the one he was playing at the show I saw in Lakeland, Florida. The one on the right is the famous one where he took the drill and he had the guitar, he busted the guitar on stage and all that. And that, you know, pretty wild to even think about that this was the guitar that Kurt Cobain just busted during the In Utero tour. Joe Strummer, of course, I'm a big Clash fan. Joe Strummer's guitar is in here as well. So pretty awesome. That's just kind of a roundabout items of some of the things I saw. Some of the few things that I just wanted to showcase. And with the Rock Hall off in the distance, they have the streets all closed off and everyone heading into the Cleveland Browns game, all coned off and everything as well.
Uh-oh, wait a minute.
You can kind of see the pyramid off in the distance. And I ended up picking up this You Are Here shirt, which is a shirt John Lennon kind of made famous, but I kind of got it as well because, you know, I go to a lot of places where I wonder where I am, and you see the little signs, like the images and the guide maps where it says You Are Here. So this kind of has a double reference because I love John Lennon's solo stuff, but also the You Are Here. So I picked this up from the Rock. Got myself a little souvenir. And I think I could probably not have this cap on anymore. The weather has kind of, well, now we're going in the shade, so maybe that was not the best call, but it's kind of warmed up just a little bit.
It's a bit better, yeah.
What did you think of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
You know what, I haven't been in there since, let's call it like maybe 95. It has definitely grown quite a bit, or maybe I'm just old enough to have better appreciation.
Yeah. I was definitely impressed. It seems like they've added stuff since I was there even 5 years ago.
Yeah.
What was your favorite thing if you had to pick one thing that you really liked?
Good grief. Well, I'm a metalhead, so seeing the lyrics, the hand-written lyrics for Holy Diver from Ronnie James Dio.
Yeah.
But in terms of the most mind-blowing piece, I'm going to go with Michael Jackson's Grammy Thriller. The sellingest album of all time. I'm going to coin that term. Sellingest.
The sellingest album of all time. And you know, I'm not a metalhead like you are, but I've been to a lot of metal shows. Yep. I saw Sepultura back in the day, and they had Max Cavalera? Yeah, Max Cavalera. They had some of his stuff in there too. So
they absolutely did. It was, the whole thing was just
pretty awesome.
Mind-blowing.
Yeah, and look how many people are out here heading over to the game. All right, what are we gonna do next? All right, we have decided to grab a bite to eat at this barbecue place called Mabel's. One of the locals, as I was doing my little spiel talking about the restaurant, he did a little making fun of my accent just a little bit as they were kind of walking by. This place looks pretty good, and really because the football game's going on, there wasn't a whole heck of a lot of people in here. I ended up going with the Polish Girl Sausage Classic Cleveland barbecue sauce, coleslaw, pulled pork, and a hoagie roll. And for a side, I ended up getting 2 different sides. I got the potato salad, which is dill, celery, and sour cream. I also got the loaded fried potatoes, chopped brisket, cedar sauce scallions, and chives. And Ryan got sausage also, but he ended up getting a pecan pie of some sort as well. And I, in fact, did have to get it to go, Mabel's barbecue. So I have a little bit, something for a little bit later. So I didn't really even dive too far into the loaded potato salad and all that. Not potato salad, but the loaded potatoes. Over here on the corner of Prospect Street is a very interesting, this is a Bank of America, but look how skinny it is. Kind of starts off in like a V shape and then goes along here. So it's kind of skinny building, goes up city year. But I'm also looking over here at the Caxton building, which looks to be kind of like another arcade style type of deal. But this is like this is a famous spot here in Cleveland, right?
It is.
Yeah.
Do you see what else is right here?
What's up there?
That's
is that
the building? Yeah.
That's the AT&T building.
That is the AT&T building.
That was said to be the inspiration for Superman's Daily Planet building.
Absolutely.
Right there. Because Superman, this is the birthplace of Superman, the comics. And this right here would have been the inspiration, so they say. There's also some steam coming out of the bottom over there. Is that what they refer to as a Cleveland steamer?
No, that would be behind you and down a little. That's where the guy was.
Oh. Yeah, yesterday, we actually witnessed one in real time, which was, couldn't put that on film. And we were just noticing there's a sports bar over here where yesterday there were a lot of people for the Cleveland Indians, Cleveland Guardians playoff game, but also today for the Cleveland Browns. But this kind of looks like the Ghostbusters firehouse right here, doesn't it? The Caxton building. I don't know if you can go in here. This might just be apartments now, but I just love this chandelier light. Ooh, look at this up here. There's like I don't know if that's a skull or what that is.
Oh, wow.
Up at the top there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look at that. See the steam just emulating out of that sewer grate right there. When you think of Cleveland, you were wearing these glasses at the game the other day. You're the Charlie Sheen from Major League right here. Oh, and Christmas Story. Nice, and Bowie.
And Bowie. I'm not sure where Bowie comes in on Cleveland. But
You had these glasses on yesterday.
Glasses. I absolutely had them yesterday. I've got them. Right here is sort of a cross between Ralphie from the Christmas Story and Sally Jesse Raphael.
Right there between the buildings, you got the grocery store over there that used to be at a bank. Is the Goodyear blimp. Right up there, Goodyear blimp going by. It's getting ready to just go out of frame. The historic Goodyear blimp. And there it goes. This Gothic archway leading into this property here with the trees across the dirt road. This is located right across from the stadium. Like this little building here. And there's a plaque over here. Let's see what this says. Back in 1826, when the other first closed, trustees paid Leonard K. Sr. $1 for 8 acres of land and dedicated it. $1 for this property. This entire property was bought for $1 back in 1826. Getting that view. Really good view now of the AT&T building. Inspiration for the Daily Planet. And you notice there's a little water tower next to it. It says Caxton building. Very small next to the side of it. Evidently was some sculptures in front of this at one point. There's no telling how long this lock has been on here. You see all the bugs flying around. This was dated 1889. So you have the wrought iron door here, but then it's also been completely shuttered in with concrete there. So you couldn't even get in there if you wanted to. It's sealed off forever. And walking back onto the street level, oh, here's someone with a tandem bike. Of course, they're riding alone on a tandem bike. Take a look at these old buildings over here. Very unique. You got a little ghost sign up top here. Can't really read what that says. Love these old retro buildings. Approaching this dancing couple here. We're walking into the Playhouse District, which is the theater district. You're going to see a lot of classic neon signs down in this area, hopefully. For example, Hannah, the Great Lakes Theater, right here. Another neon there, Playhouse Theater. And State Theater there with its blinking neon with Les Miserables playing. And just to give some perspective, right down there, when I was here the first day a few days ago, a really large chandelier that's down in the middle of the street is right down there in the middle of the theater district. Look at that thing. All right, reading this little information placard, states here, the 4 1920 theaters originally built as houses for film, vaudeville, and theater fell into disarray, but were saved moments away from the wrecking ball by a group of citizens. The largest theater restoration project ever to happen in the world. Yeah, look at this awning here. It almost looks kind of like a UFO, a wrought iron UFO. Ryan was also telling me this used to be one of the big department stores here in town called the Hannah Building, right over here in the theater district. You can even see the Hannah Building little logo and icon right up there, kind of etched on the side.
Halley's was down here with the May Company and Higbee's. Those are like the big, well-known buildings that do all your commerce stuff in Cleveland.
Yeah. Can you read Roman numerals? You know what that says? MCMXX?
McNix.
Correct. Now, if this thing was in LA, it would probably wouldn't be there with the earthquakes.
Oh, yeah.
Don't know if a big chandelier dangling over the center of an intersection would work, but maybe. What kind of bad weather do they have here? Just snowstorms?
Blizzards is probably the worst of it. We do get earthquakes here and there.
You get earthquakes here?
Believe it or not, we do get earthquakes.
This is kind of interesting. Right next to the big chandelier, now they have this, they talk about this at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but this is the real spot. Cleveland disc jockey Alan Freed, broadcast from the studios at WJW, located on this site. Right here, popularizing the phrase rock and roll. So was it right here where the Idea Center is now?
It was back in.
It was back in there?
Yeah, this facade is fairly new.
Wow, that is really cool. Right here was the spot. Rock and roll. A very wise man once sang a song, shared the news, if you will, at the heart of rock and roll is still beaten.
In Cleveland.
In Cleveland. And it's true, it really
Detroit!
That's, no, not Detroit. Cleveland. He gave the news.
He did.
Yeah, and he was part of the news.
He wants a new duck.
What's what?
He wants a new duck.
He wants a new duck? I think it was something else. And since I have not walked over this bridge, I just decided to go ahead and do it now, since I've been here on this little few-day journey into Cleveland. Pretty good view of downtown from here. Once again with the Goodyear blimp hovering over there. Skyline, very impressive architecture here. The river going by. This one's holding a truck full of coal or something on the back. And that's gonna do it for today from downtown Cleveland, strolling back towards my hotel. This is my last full day here in Cleveland before heading out tomorrow. It's been fun.
May I? The vlog? Is it? Is it in fact?
And I was gonna end it right here.
Well, then that means the vlog is over. Did I nail it?
Nailed it.
Crunch. Toadies.
So would this be giving it a big thumbs up?
Make sure you do give it.
Give it a big thumbs up. But you're right though, over at House of Blues, the Toadies are still around?
The Toadies.
I mean, that's not till the 13th.
Possum Kingdom.
I've seen the Toadies probably 5 times back in the 90s. I haven't seen them since the 90s.
No, I haven't either.
Give it a big thumbs up. I haven't said that in a long time.
No.
You still have your wristband from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yes, I do.
All right, one last thing. There are some old neon bowling alley bowling pins and a bowling ball there. The bowling alley is gone, but the bowling pins still exist.